Okay, there we go. Hopefully everyone's okay with that. Well, yeah, we'll send you out the recording after the talk. So yeah, thank you for joining, and yeah, we're glad to have you here. So today's speaker and today's topic is basically data science in the insurance industry. As everyone knows, data science is spread across many different domains. Um, and throughout this podcast, we are planning on basically bringing in people from very diverse background, so that you guys can learn more about how is data science done in different industries. And this is also for us because we're curious about it too. We all work in different industries, right? So it's good to share knowledge and give back to the community. So yeah, this podcast is run by me, and Ashid, and today's speaker is Manil. So let me start with introduction to me and Ashid, if people don't know us, and then we'll give a brief introduction to Manil. So you can take over, Ashid.
Right. Yeah. Thanks. So, hi guys. My name is Ash. I am a civil engineer by background. I did my civil engineering in 2021 from IIT Bombay, and it has been 1.5 years since I started working as a data scientist at Piramal Finance. And I have done a couple of internships as well in the same domain. So, not in the same domain, in the same field, but one in the FMCG space and another in in a deep learning space. And yeah, so that's my background. Yeah.
And a little bit about me. Yeah, someone joined in. Okay. So a little bit about me.
You can continue.
Okay. So I'm Mithul, everyone. I originally did my master's in theoretical physics, and then decided to transition into data science because I didn't want to go into academia. Started out working as a data scientist in healthcare industry, which was actually surprising for me. I somehow got in. I wanted to get into healthcare before. So huge amount of healthcare data, different way of working in healthcare as compared to other industries because healthcare you're affecting people's lives. So you do slightly, you know, you don't use all the black box models that exist out there, but rather the ones where you can explain things at the end of the day. Um, so very different way of doing data science. And then I moved on to work as a data scientist back in the physics industry, um, where basically you're tracking northern lights and trying to apply data science on the images of northern lights. So basically trying to classify them, the different types of northern light that exist, and so on. And currently, I work for the largest sports retailer, Decathlon. So Decathlon is spread across many different countries. Um, so here in Canada, and each country has their own data science team. So in Canada, we have our own data science team, and that's where I'm currently. So today's speaker, so Manil, so me and Manil actually know each other since last year, um, and yeah, he's got a master's in computer science, um, and after that he started doing internship. So that's when I uh, got to know him. Not because I was doing internship at the same place, but we met through mutual friend. Um, and then he moved on currently where he is at TD Insurance Company. He's a data scientist there. So yeah, we're glad to have you, Manil, and yeah, thanks for taking time out and doing this whole coming on this podcast thing to share your knowledge with people. Um, yeah, let's start. Is there anything you want to add, Manil, about yourself?
Uh, yeah. So basically, hi guys. First of all, and thank you so much for inviting me today. So I started my journey from back in India, where I completed my bachelor's. After that, I have also done some internships in as a machine learning developer back in India. Then I got a chance to study as a computer science and masters at university. So during that time, I completely work on the AI side, and that's how my uh, basically changed. I changed my field after that from basically computer science, where in India most of the during my education most of the things were related to softwares and things. But here, when I came to university, I just changed my field to mostly related to AI.
Nice, good to know. So I know like when you were doing masters, like being in a computer science background, you guys have a lot of options, right? You could go for software engineering, you could go into data science and so on. So why, like, I know you did projects during your grad school in AI, but after that, how did you decide that okay, I want to go for data science and not for software engineering, even though you had
So
the skills needed?
so the first interest in the AI, basically my first interest in AI were built when I was back in India. As I work as a ML developer for Skullsoft in Gujarat. So basically, at that time, we built a model for basic NLP and some forecasting models such as Arima and everything. So we used to work on that. After that, I applied for masters in Canada, and during that time, there are certain numbers of course you can take. Basically, I choose a research-based course. Okay, and when you choose a research-based course, you there are some certain professors you and they will basically check your SOP. SOP means statement of purpose, simply in which you need to indicate okay in which field do you want to work. So I have a previous experience of ML, and I like the programming in ML basically. So I just choose in SOP that I'll start focusing my career basically in the field of AI, and I mentioned that in my SOP. So when I got a call from University of Windsor, and they also already mentioned, okay, your professor is basically from data mining field, not actually from AI, but it's a bigger picture of AI. That's a data mining. And after that, when I completed my master's, I also done one research which is already published. It's completely based on the deep learning right now. So it's a aspect-based sentiment analysis using the transfer learning approach, where where I perform basically multitask learning, which is a different kind of project, completely based on AI and NLP. And that's how basically I changed my career. When I completed my research, my all the knowledge can be defined on only one field right now. Basically, when we get the job, you need to showcase them. Okay, which kind of projects you have done, what kind of research, what kind of courses you have taken. So during my masters, everything is based on my AI and data science. So uh, I choose to learn that, and I choose to grow my career in this field basically. So that's how the transition, uh, I guess, I, it works.
Nice. So then, completing your grad school, uh, and I know like here in Canada, when you are in, when basically anyone's doing a grad school,
Yeah,
um, and the research that people do, usually the masters can last for, 3 years to 4 years, because it's a hardcore research that you're doing, right? And sometimes people end up publishing their papers if there is something new. We have one other colleague through who we met, they ended up, he ended up publishing a paper, right?
yeah.
Because of it's just a new application, right? You're not implementing new things or designing new algorithms, but rather you're taking the existing algorithm and just applying on something new, right? Which is doesn't exist in the industry yet.
Y-
So
Yeah,
is that something that you guys did? Did you end up publishing a paper or?
yeah. So basically, what was the project is all about? So first of all, to identify the basically of one definition which hasn't been one kind of hypothesis you can say. uh, you need to meet a goal for that hypothesis. Is it working or not? You need to check. The research is all about trial and error. So first of all, I read 20 to 30 papers. I found one bigger definition. Let's say I want to go in the field of NLP. So I choose 30 paper of NLP for each paper consists of a different source. In NLP, we have a let's say sentiment analysis, we have a semantic embeddings and everything. So I choose to be a sentiment analysis, and then basically what is the current topics are going on in this field. So choose 2 to 3 basically publication and conference papers that you need to go through. So I choose them. Then I identify one problem. Okay, so currently in the industry of sentiment analysis, if you guys don't know about the aspect-based sentiment analysis, so I'll let you know. Let's say there is a one statement. iPhone 13 has a good camera compared to iPhone XR. Let's say this is the statement. Okay, we are saying about 2 different aspects here. Okay, there are 2 different products and one feature. The feature is considered as an aspect. So here the camera is our feature. So that's my aspect. Now I need to identify aspect related opinions. So is it good or bad? So currently, when we started our research, every model, every researchers, they are trying to improve the accuracy and performance, but they have a different model. So first model will basically identify features from the sentence, let's say camera, display, or anything like that, battery life or something like that. So all those features are there. Okay, the first model were built to extract the features. The second model will build to use that features and identify each of the feature related opinions. So for example, if I say one good example of restaurants, let's say the pizza has a good farm veg farm pizza, but has a very bad in garlic bread. So I am talking about 2 features here. One is veg farm pizza, second is garlic bread, but both the features have a different opinions. My first opinion related to pizza is good, okay, but my second opinion related to garlic bread is bad. So how can we identify multiple polarity in single statement? Okay, so currently what they are doing, they are using a one model to extract those features, second model to extract those opinion, and then combine them. Now this is the lengthy task. Okay, to let's say just in general, if I use any transfer learning approach using the BERT or something, when you train a BERT, it will took half GB of your space storage train model. Okay, and if you multiply the models based on each and every task, then it will take high storage, high computation time. So instead of doing that, what we come up with multitask learning. The single model is used to extract the feature, also their categories, also their opinions. So in single model, you can achieve 3 different tasks. Okay, and you can, and when these 3 tasks are correlated with each other, then one task can help others to identify or complete their goal, basically. So that's the purpose of multitask learning. It will reduce your computation, give higher accuracy, and it will use the less storage. So at the end of my research, the goal we achieved is we took approximately 5 bucks, because you cannot whenever you train the deep learning model, you cannot compare your model with others models based on the computation time, because I am running on, let's say, super fast GPU, and you are running on basically simple computers. You will take 8 hours, mine will take 20 minutes. Okay, so we cannot compare that with in terms of research. So there is a epochs, how many epochs your model needs to train, basically. So in other research they have 10. In my, I just doing half, so it's 5 epochs. My accuracy is way better than them in certain terms. So that's the aim that we set, and that's what we achieve at the end of
Okay.
the time.
Interesting. Okay. Since we're short on time, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so you finished your master's, and then you applied for internship, right? So how was
I'd
that
like
journey?
to go back to
Oh
the
yeah,
time
sure.
you completed your bachelor's, right? And then you got
I
a
did,
job
yeah.
as an ML engineer, right?
Yeah.
So how did you manage to get that job? I think a lot of people will be interested in that. How
So
did you apply? What was the process?
so basically, first I work as an unpaid intern. To be frank, in India, you need to give them lot of hard work, and then they will invest in you. Otherwise, they won't. So we are the cheap labor right now. So what we do, like I during my end of semester, I went to one company using some jugaad, let's say. Okay,
Mhm.
I went there and I talked with the employees and managers that I want to build a project in this field. My final year project in bachelor's is IoT. It's not related to ML, but I am using IoT and including the ML. So I'm combining both the industries at that time. So my project is related to that. They said, okay, we are completely based on software and ML side. We are not doing IoT. So I told them, yeah, IoT I can do it on my own. You just need to teach me the ML stuff. So I go there. Okay, I work for that project as well. For 6 months, I work for their projects. I haven't worked on my project even single day. On 6 months, I have been working on their projects only. For I didn't get anything for that. And then later, yeah, I got 4 months of internship. It's paid. So that's how the transition work in the India for me.
Yeah,
Then
I think
after that,
it's
directly
Mhm.
went to masters.
Yeah. So during that internship, I'm also applying for masters. So my first goal is to you know reach here and get the higher education. That's what my goal. Yeah.
uh,
There
so
is a question.
someone has a question. We usually wait until the end, but it's fine. Since this is more interactive, please go ahead. I think you can
Uh,
unmute yourself. Mhm.
yeah, hi everyone. I am Ravneet
Hey.
Pania. I am currently working as a data scientist Samsung Research.
Mm.
So I will like to, jump on the question, say how you can get your first gig at data science. So honestly, it's not that hard in India too. In You can join any MNC, MNC like Amazon, Google, Samsung, any MNC. They hire you as a software developer. They never defined which project you are working on, which team you will be working on. They just hire on a basic DSL program. I was also hired in Samsung as an basic engineer. Initially, they put me in Android team, and from
Mm.
my college side, I was much interested to in machine learning. So after trying my hands on Android for at least 3 to 4 months, I simply went to my manager, hey, I want to machine learning and AI team. And my manager was kind enough, and he just simply switched me. So this is also a method. If you, I just want to put what's the scenario in India.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
It,
I think the world's changing, right? And
yeah.
I don't know when did I don't know how long ago you did your internship, but
It's in
yeah, I
2018. I'm talking about 2018. We in Gujarat we don't have a such industries at that time. So,
right. Yeah, again, it depends on where you live and also what kind of companies you go out and look for, right? So I
yeah.
guess it depends on situation to situation and geographical location. So I'm guessing. Yes,
Yeah.
someone else has a question, please. Thanks for sharing, by the way. Yeah, yeah. Please unmute yourself when you can ask.
Please, we can't hear you if you are speaking.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
we hear you now.
So hi Aishit. We had conversation like one, two times
yeah,
on
right.
LinkedIn if you remember. So
Yeah,
my question was to Manil is to you is that so I was also planning to move to Canada, but as my profile is based in civil engineering, I have done my bachelor's and diploma in civil engineering. So what consultants have told me that your visa might get rejected. So I want to ask, is there any you have any peers around you who is from different background and who and they are doing masters with you currently?
Okay. So my master has been completed. So they are not currently doing masters. They are currently with me in the data science. So at my house, I am sharing my house with the five other members. So three of them are from electrical, Okay, and they are currently, two of them currently are working as a software engineer. Okay, and at bank as well, the Royal Bank of Canada, and one of them is currently in data science with me at the bank, not in insurance sector, but he's in bank. So basically in Canada, I don't think so. They decide based on your degree until and unless your degree is out of STEM. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. If you are not from STEM, then it would be difficult for you to come in the as a computer scientist or something like that. Otherwise, if you are in STEM, you just need different kinds of projects, different kind of skills that company requires, and you can crack the interviews because here the interviews are basically when my interview done in the TD insurance, my interviews were basically related to coding. If you crack the coding, you get the opportunity. Simple.
That's amazing. That's really relieving to hear
Uh,
that.
Mitul, yeah, Mitul is also from the physics. He is not from the computer
Oh,
background. Yeah, he is not from.
Yes, so just to add on that actually, so yeah, I mean, since you're coming from India, you said you want to study here, right, and not work directly. So just to add on that, yeah, you could apply um, for a master's program. So there are two types of master's program. You could apply for a master's by thesis, so where you do research, or master's by coursework, right? Now, for master's by coursework, there could be chances that you might get rejected. I don't know, depends on the admissions. But for master's by research, if you can convince the professor who you want to work with that you know about the field and what exactly is the research that you want to do, they'll take you. To be honest, they won't reject you. I have a friend who did masters in physics, and then he was out of the field for 2 years because he couldn't find a job. Um, and because again, it's still difficult for people coming from different background to get into data science, right? So he couldn't land a job for a couple of years, and also he has to basically get his status and everything in Canada. So he ended up working in something else. And right now he's back in. He's actually in computer science field. He's doing PhD in recommendation systems, and it's a different field, right? He's moved directly into PhD, where you just got to start doing research. Um, and he was able to do that because he was able to convince the advisor, like, hey, I can do this even though I'm not from this background. Yeah, I can still do it, right? So if you can do something like that, you can get in. Or you could apply the third option is you can apply for diploma programs. There are postgraduate diploma programs here for big data and all that, and you could try and apply for those. So yeah, there are many different options. You just have to give it a try. Okay.
cool. Thank you
Okay.
for the insights, Manil. Thank you, Matul.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so yeah, let's spend just a couple, 10, 15 minutes about the background, how you got
Mhm.
into data science and all, and then move on to the talking more about, data science and insurance industry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start from your master's program, and Ashid, feel free to jump in whenever. Right? So from your master's, you ended up doing an internship here in a consulting firm, right? So how was that journey? Was it easy to get into the internship, or did you have to do something for it?
So basically, after the graduation in Canada, you need to, that there are a couple of interviews that you need to crack to get a simple internship even. Okay, so for my internship, I have passed 3 interviews. One of them is coding challenge that you obviously in Canada you need to first clear the coding challenge, and then they will give you a chance to meet their developers or managers, something like that. The second interview is basically related to the HR and one of the team lead. Then they will ask some behavioral questions and some of the basically related to ML algorithms questions. And after that, if you crack that interview, you will get the opportunity for offers and everything basically. So that I crack all those interviews, and then I got an offer. And when we were working for the Alzheimer as a consulting firm, okay, so basically what our goal is, we have a one client, which is the Canada's largest oil company. Okay, so they need to identify. Okay, they basically drill a well and identify if is there a petrol on certain depth or not. Basically using the rock types. So that inside the rocks, you can find basically oil. Okay, so there are different phases types of the rocks, and they need to drill a well for that. So we get the images. So they are not actual pictures; they are sensory images. So basically, there is one tool they pass inside the well, which has eight cathode sensors on top of that, which will detect the radiations of the basically from the stones, and that sensory values will be given to us. In first, we convert them into the images, then we perform some image classification technique to get the rock types, and basically using that rock types, the basically there are petro engineers over there. They will identify, okay, do we need to you know uh, do we need to uh, sand basically there is a one kind of pipe or something like that they need to attach to that stone so to extract the oil. So they will they will use our model to improve their decision making. Do we need to fit the pipe or not in this particular rock type to extract the oil? Because if it won't extract the oil, it will cost them 2.6 million for one well, because they dig it, we didn't extract any oil, and it will be gone for that particular well. So that's a completely interesting project, because you the data was horrible, to be frank on that, because it's complex. It's good to work with that.
Yeah, it's also good to see, right, the data science in such an industry, right? Oil and gas, say people don't know, oil and gas, it's a big thing in
Yeah.
Canada. Uh, it's brings it, like, the economy of Canada holds, you know, because of oil and gas. Uh, and especially, where I live, it's called Alberta, and that's where all the oil and gas companies are. And
Yeah.
really get to see the applications of data science happening in oil and gas. And there are, like, many different types of data science applications in that industry alone. Uh, like, I recently had an interview for an oil and gas company, and they haven't been doing data science up until now, but now people are seeing, like, okay, it's the world's changing, right? And now we have something that can be used which we didn't before, uh, and can take advantage of it, right? So now they have, like, next 5 years plans to actually transform their entire company to be a data driven company, right? Because they
Yeah.
have tons of data, right? All the companies have tons of data, and it's a huge value. And data science, like, and they're willing to pay a huge amount too. So
Mhm.
if it, you don't need to just be in a specific field, right?
Right.
You can be open for many different fields, and that's the goal, right? To bring in people from many different fields, right? We have a question from someone. You can unmute yourself and ask, please.
Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Mayuk, and currently I'm a software engineer, and I work in the computer graphics domain in Unreal Engine. You must have heard about it. So it's a game development engine. So my question is that I have a couple of questions. Um, both of you guys, Manil and Mitul, you have done your masters from Canada, and you're currently working there. So I just wanted to know, like, what's the future prospects and the difference if you do a master's from Canada, or even if you do a master's from India or maybe USA. So what could be the possible differences? And my second question would be, like, if a typical software engineer wants to switch to the data science field, like, what are the most basic steps one should follow?
Okay. So I'll I'll try to answer, then Mitul, you can go.
Sure.
So my answer of the first question: what is the end term goal for yourself to choose your country? What do you want basically in US? Okay, there are bigger industries, you get higher salaries and everything. Okay, but do you want to reside in that country first? Okay. Yeah. Second, if you come to the Canada, let's say, okay, you will not get amount of money that US data scientist will get in the same company at same level of positions. You will not get here the same salaries and same benefits probably. But as country-wise, there are larger benefits compared to US. Okay, and if you do a masters from India, okay, uh, there are a lot of good opportunities in India right now, okay, in the field of data science. So there are quite big companies right now. So they need a good data scientist, okay. I wouldn't say one company. Basically, my friend is working. So they hired some third-party vendors exactly, and they give them one NLP project. Now whole company is deciding what they build, okay, because they don't know, vendors don't know, no one knows. So there are great opportunities in India as well if you are a good data scientist over there. uh, the answer of your second question, okay, you have a software engineering knowledge, so you are right now you have basic coding knowledge and everything that ML will require. Now you just need to apply that knowledge in some different perspective. Let's say basically when you build a software, you have some logic building skills. Okay, so that basically applied in your AI ML stuffs as well. Now you just need to identify the flow first, how to extract the data, how to clean it, how to visualize it, how to analyze the data, simple EDA, expert data analysis. How do you do that? After that, just identify how to work on ML, which one to choose and in which task. Okay. So is there classification, clustering, regression, whatever the task, and which model will fit better, how to optimize parameters, and at the end, evaluation strategy. This is the complete flow. If you get the flow, you'll get the better projects. And basically, that project knowledge will imply in the industries, but not in this manner. But this is the basically a simple transition I can explain right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Manil, for it.
So to input mine, um, okay, so for the first question, right? Whether you require a master's in order to get a job in any country. Okay. Um, and so yeah, we'll take this question and then we'll just move on with the whole podcast. Otherwise, we're gonna miss out the main topic of the podcast. So yeah, just go back to your first question. You don't really need a master's in order to get a job. What you need is experience. Okay, even if you do masters here or in the US or no matter whatever country, uh, industry really wants experience. Okay, so sometimes it's really difficult to crack uh, into industry unless I don't know how it is in India because I've never worked in India and I left India a long time ago, so I don't know how it is there. But at least here and US, what I've seen is they look for experience. Okay, and that's what companies want. They don't want entry level candidates, and it's kind of difficult, um, to get a job as an entry level candidate. Uh,
It's actually quite the same in India as well.
yeah, so you don't if like Ashit doesn't have a master's. He only has bachelor's, if I'm not mistaken, right? But yeah, if you can, you know, just do bachelor's and do boot camps or whatever, right? Uh, and build some experience, even if you have to do free internships. Yeah, you can do it and build some experience and then apply for jobs, right? It doesn't matter, whether you have PhD, master's, whatever, right? Uh, if you're not going to research, then yes, you will need that. But if you doesn't care about the research, just want to go and work in industry and work on products, and then yeah, you don't need it. So that's to answer your first question. To answer your second question, for software engineering, how do you go to data science? Okay, so data science is a big field, right? In data science, you have data engineers, you have data scientists, you have machine learning engineers, etc., right? Now, software engineers, a lot of software engineers, their skill sets match with machine learning engineers. Okay, so a lot of software engineers go towards machine learning engineers. Okay, because machine learning engineers, their entire job is to, data scientists have built the model, etc. Now they want to deploy, right? Now software engineers are good at deploying products, right? So that's why a lot of skills are really overlapping. So I've seen a lot of software engineers, taking jobs of machine learning engineers. And machine learning engineer it's a booming field after data science. Uh, it's actually ahead of data science, I would say. Okay, right now, because a lot of companies realizing the benefits of deploying, right? So now, companies have data, companies have data scientists to work on it. Now companies want to deploy the product, right? A lot of models doesn't go into deployments. So companies are like, okay, we need people who can deploy products, maintain it, and so on. So there's this entire field of machine learning engineering. Okay. So yeah, you could try that. You could learn those aspects, or gain skills on that side, and then you can apply for those instead of spending a really long time learning about data science. Okay. I know people have questions, but I think we will have to more because we're really short on time. So let's wait until the end of uh, you know, the whole thing discussion, and then we'll get back to your questions. Okay.
Thanks,
Because you
Mickey.
only got yeah, no problem. We only got 20 minutes. Okay, so let's just jump into insurance industry. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it like working in, as a data scientist in insurance industry? Yeah, we can take the question at the end. What are the different kinds of projects that insurance companies uh, work on for data science?
Okay, so the TD insurance right now have different teams to handle different kind of projects. So basically, I'm working on the like advisor sides. So basically, my task is related to our team's task, basically related to our internal how to improve our internal process, not for the customers. So when you say there is a pricing team, there is a advisors handling team, there is a different advantage related teams as well. So it's completely different in terms of handling the particular sectors. So currently what our team is basically working on. So let's say whenever you want to get the insurance for your home or auto, you just call the insurance company, okay, that I need this particular insurance for myself, and you need to identify you need to provide your IDs, different questionnaires there, so you need to do that. So what we do, we have the call recordings of that call. Okay, now we use that call recording to improve our transition process in future. Let's say you cannot pass the call, to someone who has a less closing. The closing means who has a less sales in a week, in a month, in a year. Okay, you cannot pass that. So basically, what our team is trying to do, basically, we are trying to improvise the routing algorithm in such a way that we get the more number of cells using the ML algorithm and statistical solutions. So currently, my team is not completely based on the ML models. We use statistical methods, uh, which are not currently completely implemented in the ML industry. So there is a one theory which is called credibility theory. So basically, the credibility theory that we implied in our routing way, in such a way that, okay, we can, let's say, okay, uh, you the Ashit. So Ashit went to one company, okay, for 4 times, okay, and you select your average. Let's say your average of interview cracking is out of 4 interview, you can crack only one, okay. The
Okay.
Mitul can crack one interview, okay, when he had given 2 interviews. So he's 50%, you are 1/4, 25%. Okay.
Yeah.
Now just match this logic with the cells as well. Okay. So similar things. Okay. You have a higher opportunity, but you perform less. Mitul has a less opportunity. He performed very well. Okay. Now, if I came into the picture, I have a 10 interviews and I can crack 8 of them. Okay. So I have a higher opportunity and higher closing. Okay. So how the credibility theory will work is basically assign the weights based on your opportunity and based on your performance. It's not only look at your performance. Okay. There are certain different parameters that we need to take in consideration before getting the end term goal. Okay, because I have a 80, it doesn't mean that I'm good performer. Okay, because I get more opportunity, that's why I get 80. If let's say I didn't get a 10 interviews, I only got one and I didn't crack it. Okay, so it's my zero. Okay, you guys are way better than me. So your opportunity, your closing, and everything will matters in that term. So the credibility theory came into the picture. It assigns a weight basically, okay, to each of the advisor so that it will rank in certain way that we can increase the cell. So there are different components that we took using those call recording to identify this credibility theory and to get our final product. So
What is
that's the okay. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
what is the opportunity here? Opportunity is the number of calls that an advisor gets.
No, it's basically sales per call. Okay. Sometimes in industry, what will happen? Let's say I am the advisor of TD Insurance. Mitul calls me. Okay, that I need auto insurance. Now I fill the form, and Mitul said, "Okay, I don't have this particular kind of document." Now he just need to drop the call and get the document. Okay, he
Hmm.
called TD Insurance after 2 days. Now you are the advisor. Okay, you pick up the call for and you sell that insurance, but the quote created by me. Okay, so that's my credit that you got.
Right.
Did you understand? So the credibility theory basically round up all this process and generate a one uh it's fair number, you can say, not in such a way that you will get the way better than me because you get the sales only. Okay, it's a fair number. That's
Got
how
it.
we calculate. Okay, it's not partiality kind of calculation, because when you put machine learning instead of that, it will basically just give you the train and prediction.
Right.
That's something typical. So basically what we are trying to do, we provide some ML solution, we perform the machine learning, and we get the data, we get the insights first, and then went to a credibility theory. So basically the 10 advisor experience also affect this kinds of calls. Basically you are more experienced, then there are higher chances that you will close because you know the person's mentality. Okay, so that's how it will be. And using by calculating all those things, we have performed like p-value t-test testings on the certain parameters to identify, okay, they fall in some buckets or not, either they are correlated or not. Those are the things. And then finally we applied one kind of credibility theory to perform that.
All right.
So
How how big is your team at your company, and do you have different roles for data engineering and ML engineering, or
uh, yeah, yeah. So basically, how our team structure operates is basically there are data science, data analyst, and data engineers. Okay, in each of the team, we
okay?
work together. Okay. Now, I as a data scientist, it's not my role to perform or to gather the data. Okay. There is a one data storage. I need to extract the data, perform several calculations to generate my own columns, okay, because they are the raw data. So I will perform some of the calculation using queries and get that data, and I put it inside machine learning model to insights, and then we find the solution. Now I got ML model. I convert the ML model in API, okay, and I give that API to one of the data engineers. And in data engineers teams, some of the data engineers teams, they have a software developers or something who will basically design the end user view, and they will deploy that. So that's how it's currently working. So we in our team we have all of them. We basically, you need to identify, okay, to work on this project, whom do you want to talk? You get the data, you want the data, go to data engineer. You want the initial review of the data, go to data analyst. Do you have some logic issues? Go to data analyst before building any column for your own machine learning algorithms. Consultant. And then as a data scientist, you need to build the models to generate the good performance. That's how it's right now in insurance sector.
Got it.
And how do you, so in terms of data science, where do you think the insurance industry is? As in, are they still adapting this whole data science flow, or are they, you know, are they at the advanced level, or there's still more work that needs to be done?
There is still more works. It needs to be done. So we, let's say, haven't explored all the possibilities of data yet. You can say that haven't explored all the possibilities. They are still trying to find a new ways and new things to to achieve the end term goals basically. So there are lots of data which is coming, and it's sometimes you cannot even think of better solution. So we are just trying every quarters to get the better model for each of those tasks using some different strategies. In simple words, I can say.
Right. So the insurance companies have tons of data, but basically they're still adapting the data science, right? You're basically to become a data-driven company, if you like, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of then production, I'm guessing the production is nowhere close. Still the company's figuring out, or the team's not there yet in terms of production level, I'm guessing.
So when you work with the bigger companies, like TD is big company in Canada, okay? So they have their own one company which will basically just only based on AI/ML. So for TD, it's layer 6. Okay, for RBC, it's Morley CI. So these are the companies when data scientist or something like that in the TD insurance or TD bank, they didn't achieve, then they need to contact the layer 6 to get the things done. So though they have a one department which is way far better than us right now. They can adapt so many things that we haven't yet. So I wouldn't say there isn't, but there is something that you can get.
Okay, so we have a really good question on the insurance side. So Shiv Prasad asked, I have a doubt in insurance companies that data scientists and quantitative research analysts share the same role or work. Thanks for the question, by the way.
Okay, so what do you mean by quantitative research analysts, first of all?
You can unmute yourself, by the way.
Yeah, you can unmute.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, actually, I'm a second year student in artificial intelligence and data science.
Mhm.
I'm in second year. So I had viewed some of the YouTube videos in which quantitative research analyst plays a major role in uh, in decision making through, I think so, ML models. So I had a doubt, like, do data scientists and these people do the same role or not?
Okay, so there are different things. So in data scientist and TD insurance, we have data scientist, and what do you say, like quantitative research analyst? It's called actuarial analyst. Okay, so the actuarial analyst basically what they do when we give them a model, okay, they will analyze that model or validate their data or something like that for the the company's own code, and as well as for data scientist teams. They will analyze and validate that model for 1 quarter, basically. So that's what they do. Uh, and they are basically, we can say, like middleman between data science team and stakeholders. Okay, so the, either they are like senior managers or managers, probably, because in insurance sector we have more actuarial analysts as senior managers than data science managers. So they are kind of the persons who have a vast amount of knowledge and who have studied the insurance, not the field of ML. You can say they have a vast amount of knowledge than data scientist in insurance. That's why they can interpret the that machine learning models and to insurance, and they can relate. That's how it is. If I'm not wrong, that you were asking.
Yeah, yeah, I think I've seen a lot of insurance companies. So I have another friend who was working at another big insurance company, and his managers were actually actuarial science people. So this is a field called actuarial, and this is where and a lot of insurance companies actually hire those people because these are the people who make decisions at the end of the day. So they seem to work hand in hand with data scientists. Absolutely, yeah. At the company that he was working for, they were even coding. But thing is, they will suck at coding. Okay, um, because again, they don't come from computer science background. They're more from like the actuarial science background. So they know the math, they know the business things and all that,
Knowledge and
business knowledge. But in terms of coding, they will suck, and it's worse when they will start coding. At least this is what I heard, right? But yeah, just to answer your question. So if you're trying to combine both, I would say like learn coding. You can be actuarial scientist, but also if you're gonna do hands-on, I would say like yeah, learn coding as well. That will make you a good, you know, the data scientist or actuarial scientist. Right? Yeah, you can ask question. Someone raised your hand.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Hey.
So, like, my question was not regarding the insurance company, but it's like more generic one regarding the data science industry. So, I've been hunting jobs since last 1 month, and have gone through like hundreds of JDs. And what I have seen is that key uh, the JD of data scientist and machine learning engineers are being much more overlapped than it was like 1 year ago. 1 year ago, because now companies are asking for Docker, Kubernetes, and they are asking if they have some MLOps kind of knowledge. So as you guys are working in the industry, like, are you are you seeing that paradigm shift, or are you seeing that collaboration of data scientists and machine learning engineers? Like, do you see that in near future that there will be only one role, that only a data scientist or only a machine learning engineer will be there to do all the job that is being done today by both the people?
Okay. So
Okay. Who wants to give a start? Someone go start. I have it. I can go too. But yeah.
so I'll go first. Okay, no worries. So I would say there will be a one role which is MLOps, okay, in your industry, and that's the future, to be frank. Okay. It's gonna take over. So right now the industry, every company needs, okay, you can deploy the model, you know the cloud, you know the ML, you know the data science, you know the statistics now. Okay. You know all the things, and we are gonna hire only one person and we'll give you the role MLOps. And that's will change the industries. Its market is basically right now not about the data science, not about the ML engineers. The market is on the ML ops now.
So, Ashir, do you want to go or should I go?
So I think I'll say just one thing, that uh, don't go by the JDs, right? So most companies copy their JDs from other companies. So even if they mention that they need all these technologies, even if you don't know most of those, I think you should apply and just take the interview. Uh, you'll get to know in the interview whether they actually need all that or was it just fluff. So yeah, that's my thing.
Okay. So So this is something I've been in, I like doing experiments. Okay. If I have a job today, let's say, I end up getting a new job today, I would still apply for jobs tomorrow, right? Even though I have it, because I'm not satisfied. And it's not that I want to change job, but it's just that I want to know how the market is. Okay. And I want to know the value of me in the market. And the only way to find out is you keep applying for jobs and then seeing what people, uh, you know, wants, the skills that they're looking for, right? So this is something I want to share from the experiments that I've been doing since past couple of years, applying for jobs, okay, and learning about the market. Um, so a lot of this, what do you call, the job posts are written by HR. Okay, now HR doesn't know shit about data science. They don't know anything about MLOps. They don't know anything about data engineering. All that they know is how to copy paste. Okay, so they have no idea. If you talk to them in detail, they're like, "Oh, it's going, boom." I don't know, right? Um, and this is everywhere. Okay, not just in India, but it happens here in Canada too. And even I had like arguments with managers because I'm at a certain position right now that I don't give a shit if I don't get, if I don't get a call for an interview, because I'm at a good position and like I don't care because I know the field ins and out. And like if you want to take me, take it. If you don't want it, just leave it. But you got to know the differentiating between different roles, right? And sometimes people are looking for superheroes. Like, people are looking for a data scientist who could do data engineering, data science, uh, who could do DevOps, MLOps, everything. I'm like, no, you cannot have a person who could do everything. There's a entire the field on its own, it's huge. Like data engineering, there's so many tools that you gotta learn. You gotta learn Airflow, you gotta learn, the ETL processes, right? You gotta learn how to set up the cloud computing and all, right? So there's so many tools that you end up learning, and our brain is limited. There's not much you could do. It's like it's like becoming an expert in physics, biology, chemistry, and you're at the forefront of the research in all of these fields, right? That's impossible. You can't be, right? Um, and data science on its own, again, there's so many things in data science. There's, you got to do statistical analysis, you got to do machine learning, deep learning, right? So there are tons of things, right? And data science alone, and then you have this machine learning engineering, right? Which is again, it's booming right now, right? Where the entire uh, thing is about how to put things into production, but not just put into production, but also how do you monitor, right? How do you keep track of things, right? You got to do data monitoring of data drift. You got to do monitoring of, if the models are drifting and so on, right? And there are tons of different tools that's been built for that field alone, right? And yeah, some companies will ask you for to have a skill between a data scientist and a machine learning engineer. I've seen that happening um, like often. And at my company, Decathlon, so we do have a software developer who's focused more on deployment thing, but we also do the deployments ourselves. And that's not because, like that's the structure of the company, but that's because we figured that at sometimes software engineers they don't have the necessary data science skills required. Like as an example, let's say you're working on a deep learning model. Okay, you want to put this deep learning model into production, right? Now if someone is from pure software background, that person wouldn't know the pre-processing steps that went into these deep learning models, right? Because any new data that comes in, right, in the production. Now imagine you have a model in the production, right? Any new data that comes in, that data needs to go through the same pre-processing steps as the once when you were building the models, right? Now software developer from pure that background, without any ML background, wouldn't know that. So at my company, we're like, you know what? It's not that difficult, right? And plus, for all the team members, it's a good learning, right? And if they're happy to learn, right, you can do it yourself. So like we actually do things ourselves. We have one software developer whom we help, and the guy has a little bit knowledge about data science, but we are there to do it together with them. So yeah, we work hands in hand with machine learning engineers, if you like, or MLOps. Now MLOps, I think it's going to be a big thing in the next 5 years, because like I said, right, data 5 years ago, data engineering wasn't that big, right? Data science was big because a lot of people saw the value of data science, right? Oh, data science, we can make tons of money, right? The companies can make tons of money using the data that they have. But then soon the companies realized, oh, you know what? Some companies were even hiring data scientists, but they didn't have the infrastructure that's built by data engineers, right? A data scientist can't build it, doesn't have the skill sets necessary, right? So they're like, okay, now we are screwed. We have a lot of data scientists, but we don't have a lot of data engineers who could build the infrastructure. So the data scientists are just sitting there. We're just paying them for no reason. So now at this point in time, there are tons of jobs for data engineers, right? So, and data engineers get paid higher than data scientists. And going forward, I think MLOps is going to be a big thing in the next 5 years, because at that point, companies will realize, oh, okay, now we have models, right? We have infrastructure, but now we need things in production. We need things which are automated, right? So they'll be like, okay, let's go hire more MLOps people, right? So the demand's going to change. And yeah, I've seen companies, asking for skills in data science and MLOps. And I personally, I've been learning about MLOps myself, and I've been applying that at my workplace. So yeah, if you're already an experienced data scientist, I would say try going into the MLOps side, DevOps side, and try implementing that, because yeah, the world is changing. And if you don't change with the changing market, you're out of demand. Uh, and the final thing I want to mention is, if there's a company who's looking for tons of different skills in one person, ask for more money. It doesn't matter, right? You, like me at this point, I know the demand of my industry. Okay. Uh, 6 months ago, as an example, I'm not giving you concrete numbers, but as an example, okay, let's say 7 6 7 months ago, I knew that I would get paid 110, like 110K, right? That was 6 7 months ago when I was experimenting. Okay. Now I'm at the same company. All I've done in the 6 7 months is I've gained the skills. Okay. And now when I do interviews, I can see people offering me above 150K. And what has changed? I haven't changed the company. I don't have 5 years of experience. The only thing I've done in the past 6 7 months is I've tried to learn as many tools and apply, right? That's all I've done. And in doing so, I've increased my value in the market, right? So now I can literally go out and I'd be like, okay, you know what? 140, 150. If you can't give me that, I'm out, because I don't care. I'm in a good position, right? And companies, if they want you, they'll get you the money, right? And I've seen that because it happened with me. They were like, okay, we're ready to pay you. So well, it depends, right? And yeah, like I said, if you're experienced, if you have all the necessary skills, and if they're asking for all of this, you got to do all of these different roles, then I would say demand more money. Uh, and yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think even in India, data engineering is slowly picking up. Earlier, it was not really big. Earlier, data scientists were like more respected and more highly paid, but slowly, data engineering is becoming big.
Okay, we did have a question from someone. I'm currently in third year BTech. I'm from mechanical engineering background. I found my interest in data field in my fifth semester. How much time it takes to do Excel in this field so that I can crack most of the interviews? Excel sucks. I would say like try
No,
to.
I think he does not mean MS Excel. He just means how do you excel in this field?
Oh, sorry. Okay, I misunderstood. By the way, I'm currently pursuing ML course by Andrew G. A good course. That's where everyone starts. So learn as much as you can. Also, I'm learning data analytics skill from YouTube. I've already learned the skill and SQL as well. Okay. Also, please tell about the effect of recession. Okay. So since I'm reading the question, I'll take it, and then others can with the inputs. Um, so how do you excel in this field? I would say to crack the interviews, I would say learn the necessary skills. Don't focus on learning every single tool that's out there. Okay. Don't be like, oh, I want to learn AWS. I want to learn Python. I want to learn R. I want to learn etc. etc. Right. Just pick one tool, learn that quickly, right? Know everything about it. Obviously, you won't be able to know 100%, but know most about it, right? And then start applying on a project. Okay, do project. Don't just sit there. I've taken the course, I've done the project in the course. I'm good. I know data science. Don't be like that. I've done that before when I was trying to break into the field. Learn the skills, right? You can do the projects in the course, but then try, going out and getting the data and then doing it yourself. Because that way you're gonna learn more. Okay, and then you're going beyond your comfort zone. Okay, and you feel like much more. Like you feel the feeling that you get when you solve a problem that's outside your comfort zone is really good. Like I used to get interviews, and these are coding interviews. And like I said, I'm not from computer science background. I'm from physics background, and I sucked at coding. I was scared of coding. Okay, when I started, but the interviews that I was getting, they asked me for coding assignments, and then I was attempting coding assignment. Initially, I didn't, but afterwards, I was like, I need a job. I gotta do it, right? And whenever I was solving the problems, even if I didn't get a job, I was so happy because I was like, oh, I can do this, right? It was like eye-opening for me. Like I could code, I can do the solution, and so on, right? So do go out, do the projects, okay? That's the only way to excel in this field. Okay, yeah, you can learn a lot of things from YouTube, tons of things. Learn, just apply them. Go get the data, scrape the data. You can do whatever you want and build the entire project. Okay. Now, in terms of recession, uh, why? Yeah, it's really bad right now. It's really really bad, the recession right now. There are tons of jobs I'm seeing in the market, but the thing is, uh, like me personally, yeah, this whole of this time in 7 8 months, I've applied for maybe 20 30 jobs. I haven't had a single call from even from HR. Okay. uh, Now before I used to get tons of calls even though I wasn't in the retail industry, but now I don't get any of the calls. Like all the interviews I've been talking that I got is actually a recruiter reaching out to me. Okay, because they have me in the database, right? But the jobs that I personally applied, I haven't heard from anyone, and the more that's because the market is bad right now. Okay. uh, and it's the same with, and I'm not saying oh, there's fault in me that I'm not getting a calls, but the reason I'm saying the market is bad is because along with me I have other data scientists who have like a couple of years of experience, and they are trying to move to a different company too, and they are in the same position as me, and they are not getting calls either. So right now it's the recession. Like yeah, it's really bad. So I would say like if you have a stable position at at one of the companies, just stay there. Like don't, unless it's a really good company and that's offering a job, then I would say move. Otherwise, just stay wherever you are, just for the time being. Okay. Uh, because even the big companies are getting laying off people like Amazon and Facebook, etc., etc., right? So yeah, just stay wherever you are. Which and all algorithms I should focus more on? I'll leave that NLP question for Ashit and Manil because I don't work on NLP things. Um, Actually, yeah, that's my input. I'll let others share their input so that I'm not the only one who's talking here. And then we'll take question of yours, Pradeep.
Okay. So you will go, or should I?
So you guys are free to pick whichever question, by the way, because I know I've talked a lot about Kunal's question.
So Kunal, are you in India or are you somewhere else? India. Okay. So since you've already learned Excel and SQL, I think I would recommend you to start with Python. And while you're learning Python, just start doing some projects. That's how you can learn even better. And also, yeah, don't choose like really common projects like that Titanic data set or iris classification. So that is usually there in the courses on Coursera. So, for example, when I was back in college, I picked up a project on GANs. So, uh, so it was like uh, you could generate modern art using GANs. And even though my laptop was very shitty, it was already summers here, and the laptop also became a heater. So, uh, just pick some unique projects, and I think that's how you can really learn the ins and outs. And about the placement season of 23-24. So I think that is next year or next to next year. That is next year, right? So I think if you have decent projects and you have decent skills, I think that's all you can do about it. Other things are not in your hands.
Um, just to answer Pradeep, sorry to interrupt, about the end-to-end project. So me and Ashid, we have decided to do a live coding session. So we do want to basically have people working with us on end-to-end projects. But we thought before doing so, we decided to do like a live coding session so that people can see, how we do data science and so on. And then based off that, if people are interested in working with us, then obviously you can, you can join us. Now, obviously, because we're going to put in a lot of work, we will like charge a small amount, but that's because, we're going to put in a lot of effort. But the reason, again, like the reason why we'll be doing coding session, that's because to see if you guys feel like, okay, you know what, I want to really learn from these guys. Then you can, go ahead and come work with us on like a paid thing for a couple of months. But yeah, we're not gonna charge you like 10,000 rupees or whatever, right? We don't care about that. But just because we have families and we are putting in our time in actually helping out people and doing this end-to-end thing. That's the only reason. But yeah, so live coding session will be in January. We just started designing end-to-end project right now. So we are anticipating in the first week of January that we'll do a live coding session. So where people can join for free and then see how we do data science. We won't be explaining, every single detail because we'll have like 1 hour session, but that will be to give you a brief overview of how things are done. And some of the things which are not complicated, we'll just explain as we go through the coding. Okay. So yeah, keep an eye for Jan first week. Yeah, we'll keep posted on LinkedIn. Uh, and
I think Manu
yeah, Manu.
wanted to have the question. Yes.
Okay, so the Pradeep's question is about the NLP stuff. So I'll answer right one. So where does the NLP comes, and I'm interested in the sentiment analysis and wants to be specialization. So basically the NLP comes when the industry is using like chatbot or speech or something like that. Like as I explained, we are using the call recordings. So basically that's where the NLP comes. When you have a chat, you have calls, anything like that in textual things, the NLP is the reliable solution over that using ML. So for sentiment analysis, I would say there are three main types that I know. One is document oriented. There is a whole chat script, like 1 page or 2 page of chat script. Okay, you need to identify one problem using that particular doc file. Okay, and you will just name this particular opinions. Okay, so there is a one whole document oriented. One is statement oriented. I give you the example. There is a one statement which contains two different features and which contains two different opinions. Okay, the sentence level sentiment analysis will give you neutral opinion because one is good, one is bad. You cannot decide. The sentence level cannot decide. Okay, then third one is the most reliable one. Currently, it's related to the aspect based, feature based, and sentiment analysis. So it will basically guide you deep inside the data. You need to identify the things and you need to find a solution for each of the features. Okay, that's a pretty much more reliable right now in industry as well. So that's the one thing. And focus on stage algorithms. Okay, so the algorithms that I would say when you are using the document or sentence level uh, sentiment analysis, so there are two different things that comes in my mind. One is ML, simple ML algorithms. Let's say you do a stemming, lemmatization, cleaning, stop word removal, or everything, and train a machine learning classifier. That's one solution. Second, I use the deep neural networks such as LSTM, GRU. You can use transfer learning as well, such as BERT and anything like that. When it comes to the aspect base, the deep neural network works best because you need to convert the aspects into the embeddings first and then feed into the model. Otherwise, it won't fit. So that's these are the basic models that I would say to start with. First approach is use the ML just to get the sentence level oriented sentiment analysis. Then comes on the deep learning project using the same data, but just remove the ML and do the deep learning stuff. Then use the aspect base using the deep learning. And the easiest way to do a aspect base, which I found, is using the transfer learning using BERT. So BERT has a inbuilt features right now, so many that you can easily do a deep learning project, and it will basically give you better performance than LSTM, GRU, or attention. So that's my thought on that.
You can maybe try and connect how NLP is used if you guys use NLP in your insurance industry. Maybe you can like try and give an idea about how it's done in actual world.
Okay, sure. Should I say right now or?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. So basically, when we get the calls, what we are trying to do, we have a one-part model, which is transfer learning approach. That what it will do, we feed the speech. Okay, it will convert that speech into the basically a chat scripts. Using that chat script, we can identify certain variables. Okay, which is our statistical variables, and those statistical variables will be used by our data science team. So that's a basic overview, okay, that I can explain. But to convert or to work with the audio, speech, or chat, you must need a good classifier over there to and convert those basically into a specific use case things. So let's say as per our topics right now, okay, uh, like someone is asking about insurance error, someone is asking about selling call about the sales, he wants insurance or something. So there are two different things, one is service and second is sales call. So how could you identify based on their conversation? So you need to do it using classifier or using different approach, whatever you need to prefer. So by feeding that speech into model, you can identify either this call is related to service or either this call is related to sales call to as an insurance company. So that's where the NLP comes basically. This is the one of the recent projects that our team is working on.
Yeah. Okay. Just to wrap up, guys, because we are already over time. So just to get back to Dhruv, so we talked about the data engineer's role in actually our first session. We do have slides, so we can send you the slides if you could leave us your email on LinkedIn, either of mine or Ashit's. And we can take that question and talk more about it in the next upcoming session. Okay. And who else do we have? We have Kunal. Should I do DSA for problem solving skills? I'm guessing someone answered that already. Um, Again, we can take that question for the upcoming session. For the advanced SQL, you can. I think I should give you HackerRank and some other places, so you can like try to practice your advanced SQL skills. But if you want to put together everything, I haven't seen any website that actually lets you write like 20 lines of SQL code in one go. So you'll have to do that on your whatever project you're working on, and that's something that you will see when we will do end-to-end data science project. Because most of the places where you practice, you're basically writing either, I don't know, 5-6 lines of code. And if you want to do any advanced one, you'll have to pay for their subscription. So you can check out the websites, but yeah, I think you'll have to end up paying for the subscription there. And yeah, that's it, Sir Prashad. Yeah, we'll take your question next time as well. Um, okay, let's just wrap up here. Hopefully, you guys had a good session, and we were able to answer as many questions as possible. Yeah, because we've been out here since almost more than 1.5 hours. So I think yeah, we gotta leave now. So yeah, thanks again, Manil, for joining, and yeah, for doing this thing. I know it's we're not paying you anything. I know, but it's good to give back to the community, and how hope people will appreciate that we're doing this for free.
Yeah.
Because it's we could spend this hour in making money because we can, but still we decided to do this to help the community. So okay, all right, thanks everyone. We'll send you the recordings, and for those whose emails I have, if anyone else wants a recording, please reach out to us. And yeah, you guys have a good, like people in India, have a good night. For me and Manil, we'll have a good day.
You too. Bye, buddy. Bye.
Okay, see you
And
everyone.
thanks a lot, everyone, for joining and staying till the end.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see you guys.
Uh,